Hello everybody, I'm very honoured here today to have Bernard Cromarty with me.
Who?
Bernard Cromarty. I'll
Never
tell
heard of
you,
him.
see, Bernard Cromarty to me is the godfather of folk music in the northwest of England. Everybody knows Bernard, everybody's played with Bernard, or wants to do, you know, and he's been involved in so many different things. But it's a great honour having you here.
Thank you.
Now, my early recollection of you is when I was a first former at Thornley.
Yes.
I went into the music room because I'm interested in music. There's a fairly big room that the band, choir and orchestra used to practice in. And at the side, left-hand side, were three little rooms. And I could hear this do-do-do-do-do-do piano playing.
Yes.
And it were you. And nearly every time I went in there, you were practicing. So you were dedicated.
Yeah, yeah.
And you'd have been about 13.
Well, I was determined to learn to play the piano.
Yeah.
Even though we had no piano at home, and there's a story behind that.
Yeah.
So my dad used to have a piano accordion, but he never really played it. And I got the chance to use it. And I started recording stuff on my mum's tape recorder off the wireless. And then carry it in my head to school and hammer it out on the piano. And Jock came in one day and said, play that again, laddie. And it was the first movement of the Beethoven's piano sonata, Moonlight Sonata.
Yeah.
And what it hadn't occurred to me was I was actually playing all the right notes. Unlike Markham and Wise, they were all in the right order as well, and in the right key.
Yeah.
And he said, well, how have you learned to play that? I said, I've recorded it on my mum's tape recorder at home and I bring it in my head and play it on the piano here. Yeah. And he realised that they'd made a mistake not getting me playing an instrument before that.
Yeah, yeah.
And they offered me a piano that was the school was literally getting rid of. And I've still got that piano at home.
That's fantastic. Yeah. I reckon you'd have been about 13 or 14.
I would.
Now, as I say, you put a lot of time and effort in. How many musical instruments can you actually play?
I've no idea. No idea whatsoever. All I can say is I don't play the fiddle and I'm not really a drummer.
No.
Although I've taught people to play drums.
Yeah, because you got the rhythm and everything.
Yeah, but I can play the mandolin.
Yeah.
Even though it's the same tuning.
So it's only the bow you'd have to master, isn't it, really?
Yeah, that's it, and I've just never really
been
inspired to do that.
That's amazing. You could play like stringed instruments, obviously, guitar, and do you play wind instruments?
Flute, clarinet, piccolo.
Wow.
I could play the oboe. I was taught oboe and I was at college, but I never got one, so I'd need to practice. Yeah. I know it's quite a bit different.
And do you find that because you've obviously got musical knowledge, you can read music, you understand the technology, not the technology, the terminology of music, that helps you go from one instrument to another one?
Well, the funny part about it is, when I was at Thornley, I was asked, we were all asked in the first form, what instrument we'd like to play. Yes. And you were supposed to say cornet,
I know, that's
something like that. But I said flute and got laughed at. Oh, wow. So, and I ended up not learning to play an instrument. But I was press-ganged into the choir, as we all were. And as a result, I taught myself to read music accidentally. Yeah, accidentally. Yeah. Everybody else was looking at the words and listening to the piano. Yes. One of the lads was playing on the piano. Vincent Stainton was the pianist at the time. And I didn't realise, I was following the notes and I didn't realise nobody else was. And I taught myself to sight read music that way.
But I mean, we could talk forever on this. But there's another thing that another sort of affliction that you've got, which most people don't have, which is perfect pitch. Which
is probably because of that. Listening to the piano and following the notes.
Yeah, it's a talent. I'll tell you what, we've just been tuning up. In fact, I'm tuning guitar up, and I'm using one of them, cheating with one of those electronic tuners, and Bernard's tuning a 12-string guitar up, And he says you're out on that string, you know, on that string, just for his ear, which is a great skill, a great talent, but it must be aggravating, a nuisance when people are not quite in tune.
Yeah.
Anyway, what is that?
This is a 120 bass piano accordion. It's got buttons on that end which play bass notes and chords, and you can do things like that with it, and you can play etc. Yeah, so I can mimic a brass band with it. So I've got my own back.
Tremendous. Oh yeah. Yeah. See, there's two sorts of people in all sorts of music. There's people like me who are sort of buskers who can get a song across with playing guitar, harmonica, whatever, but not really musicians. And then there's real musicians who do the same thing but do it properly in a way. And that, you know, buskers can do it properly. Buskers can create a good atmosphere and everything like that, but are not musicians, not as adaptable. So it's fantastic to have you here. And what is that you're playing today?
This is a piano accordion. It's a Swiss Horner musette. Musette means that it plays quiet like that. A bit of a warble, a lot of a warble, and
fantastic sound.
So you can get a lot of variety out of it. And this end has got buttons, and you can play in any key.
So confusing. All you can see those on the.
Well, that's the beauty of it. You can't see them.
When you're playing, you can't see them. You just get used to the feel.
And I think that's one of the problems I have when I'm seeing myself playing on here.
Just know I never thought about that. Yeah. It's Horner's the same company that makes harmonicas, mouth organs.
That's right. Yeah, and melodicas as well.
Same principle of reeds vibrating.
Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly. Yeah.
But we're going to do a song now for you. And what's it called? This
Tacoana Girls.
That's easy for you to say.
No, it's not.
Well, there's a chorus in it as well.
Yeah, we'll rant and we'll roar like true-born young whalemen. We'll rant and we'll roar on deck and below until we see bottom, which is not rude, it means the bottom of the sea, inside the two sinkers, and the sinkers are weights that they throw overboard attached to ropes to find out how deep it is and how fast they're going. Right. And it's where the expression knots came from. Because knots. And straight up the channel, boys, to Westcott we'll go.
Shall we stand up? Or,
we'll stand up. And here's something that you might find fascinating, because I do myself when I think back on it. I started to play the accordion properly back in the late 1960s when I saw John Kirkpatrick playing what looked like a melodeon in the beach store. Yeah. And it had the same Stradella bass as this thing has. Right. And he was playing... So I made up my mind I was going to play that.
It's like a band in a box, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And then a few years later I met up with the Yetis.
Oh yes.
And Pete Shuttler is the accordion player in the Yetis. Right. And I liked the way he played the right hand. Right. Well, so he's got a, well, I play a tune that he plays.
Haunting sound, isn't it?
And I do that as a full-length thing. And his style of playing, I adapted that with the left hand. So I'm sort of, you could call me either John Shuttler or Pete Kirkpatrick.
Or a mixture of the two.
Or a mixture of the two, yeah.
Any road. It's been fantastic, Bernard. And I'll see you again. You'll be on this page again soon. Bye, everybody.